Hello and welcome to a chip off the old block toys. Welcome back. I'm Jeff, and today, well, what are we going to do? We're going to continue building the Ninjago set 71799. It's just called Ninjago City Markets. I do like the set. I've talked about it many times. I wish this was the stream that I could say, hey, we're going to finish it, but it's not that stream. I have laid out a ton of pieces, but there is so many more to go because this set has it's like 6,500. It's got a lot. Anyway, let's go ahead and switch cameras. And let's just get started building. Because the sooner we get started, the sooner we get done, and we can move on to yet another project. And believe me, I've got plenty of projects. So let's do this. All right. Bird's eye view. There you go. So today we're going to start off working on this side. This is a double base plate. The other one's just right outside of camera view. But today, the exciting news is we're going to end up connecting the two sides. So instead of talking about doing it, let's just do it. So I hope you all are having a good day. Excuse me, I seem to have forgotten how to talk last night sometime. But I had a very good night. It was kind of a long night, short on the sleep. And that's because I had a huge, and I mean huge, 12,000 piece Bricklink order come in last night at 11 o'clock. And I usually go to bed at midnight. So I did the smart thing. I stayed up and I got it done. And I'm being totally sarcastic. That was not the smart thing. The smart thing would have been just to go to bed. But sometimes I just ain't that smart. So anyway, I stayed up. It's done. It's ready to go. It's going to go to the post office. And I'm not crying about doing it. I'm actually kind of glad that I did, only because today another order came in last night. And so now with the big order out of the way, yeah, I can get it done. And this is kind of weird. I'm kind of surprised they have me doing this, but you know what? I follow directions. So we're just going to do it. And anyway, I hope y'all are having a good morning this morning. Let's see. We had also last night, like I said, I usually go to bed at midnight. Well, last night, as soon as I went or was going to go to bed, or I would have gone to bed, I should say, the good old thunder kabooms came out, and we had a 2-hour-long thunderstorm that was pretty violent out there. So I wouldn't have been able to go to bed on time last night anyways, regardless of this 12,000 piece order. And speaking of pieces, let's pick this one up. But yeah, it was a pretty crazy thunderstorm last night, and it comes highly recommended. I don't know by who, but somebody. And oh, it kind of sucked because I needed to go outside last night and go out to the shop and get some pieces. But with the thunderstorm going, I said, nope, I'm not going to do it. Because sometimes I get short when I do these, especially a huge order like this one, where the guy's like buying out several of my drawers. Sometimes you just have one of those things where you're short one or two, and I know I have them in my personal collection, and I'll just go out and pull it. Well, last night I was not going to be going outside at all. Not that thunder dancing all around me. So, yeah, we're that is one thing Idaho is famous for, is its thunderstorms and its weather. Like yesterday, it was beautiful. The air was still, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just hits. And I've hinted to this before. One of the things that happens out here, oh boy, that's not lining up, dang it. This is not cool. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. Well, let me put it in the right spot then. Yeah, so what happens out here quite frequently is that it gets hot during the day, and the sun picks up the moisture that's on the ground, evaporates it, and then it'll dump it back down on us. It's pretty common for this area. It is kind of weird to think about sometimes. I actually live in the Great Basin Desert, and it's called a basin and it's called the Great Basin because even though the area is large, several hundred square miles, once water hits here, it doesn't leave here, and so that's why you have the Great Salt Lake, and that's why it's so salty. Is because the water just, all the water in the world can fall down here, and it'll end up in the Salt Lake, and then it never leaves, except through evaporation. But yeah, this is this particular set is in preparation for the other Ninjago set that we're going to put together. And one thing I really do like Ninjago, and I've stated this before. The appeal to Ninjago to me is that it is considered to me a city set, because these are sets that you can put directly in a Lego city. But the thing I like about it is its use of the elements, different Lego elements, to make like fancy things and in a different way than what you're used to. And I love the creativity with this. And part of that right there is these doors. These little barn doors, these are used in the horse stables for Paradisa, and they were pink, but these are black, and they're on the sides, and they're roof pieces. These Technic things, well, one of them was the eye to R2-D2, the light bluish gray one, but now it's not. And then you got the railing right here on the corner is actually just a hot dog that they've colored black. And so instead of it being a hot dog, it's a railing. And so that's why I really like Ninjago, is I feel like the creativity is really there, where they just kind of go all out to make it kind of like a Japanese or Chinese city, but at the same time, they use creative parts of the elements to make it happen. So anyway, it's really cool stuff. Yeah, I have seen the Lego Ninjago movie, by the way. And, besides it being based in the world, the make-believe world in Ninjago, I never did catch what the thing is about the Chinese aspect of it, or the Japanese, whatever it's supposed to be. They never really explain that part. Oh, shoot, I didn't do that piece right. Oops. Well, that's okay. All right. So we just put a little sign right here. So I do tread lightly around things that can be political, and that's because I don't want to talk about politics on this channel. So I want to bring up something that happened to me recently. Well, it's actually happened to me lots of times, that I find really annoying, and I have no intentions of making it political. So just stick with me when I tell you the details of what happened, and we can forget the political aspect of it. Prescriptions. My wife has some of the best insurance in the world, especially when it comes to the Army health insurance. The only problem I have with it is that they drag their feet on certain things. All right, so I won't get into what medical issue I have, but I have a medical issue that requires daily maintenance medication. Believe me, the doctor has told me to change my diet. I have. And it helped the problem, but didn't get rid of it. And we've tried other medications that were cheaper, it just never got to the point where it got rid of it. So he prescribed a medication, and I won't say which one. And I admit it is an expensive medication, but it's the only one that solves the problem. And the problem is such that I can't even function daily without it. It's literally really embarrassing and difficult to just function in day-to-day life without this medication. Well, I've been on it for a few years, and TRICARE doesn't like the medication, even though it's on their list of approved medications, as they call it, they're formulatory. Every single time I get it filled, they require my doctor to do a pre-authorization form. And I used to be able to get it in a 90-day supply, which was awesome. But here recently, TRICARE got the bright idea to do it only 30 days at a time. So I still have to pay the same copay, $39, whether it's 90 days or 30. But now with their new rule, I have to do it in 30, and I have to go through this process. And to tell you how annoying it is, my doctor filled out the prescription on June 19th. This pre-authorization process took so long that it wasn't until yesterday, July 21st, a full month after, that I got the medication. So yeah, I'm thoroughly annoyed with it because that means I had to skip a couple days of taking the medication, which is awful, in order to stretch it out so that I had some. So anyway, I don't like health insurance when it comes to that because they are more, to me, they're just more interested in their bottom line than they are helping people out. So anyway, but I do have a 30-day supply just hit the mail yesterday. So I am grateful for that. I am grateful it went that way. You just bought this. Awesome. By the way, have fun, Bo. Thank you. I appreciate that. If you would hit the like button for me, I'd appreciate that. And yeah, this set right here, this is my second time building it, and I absolutely love this set. Now, I'm going to warn you, since you said you just bought it, do me a favor and yourself a favor. Do not take it apart unless you never plan on putting it back together. Because once you get it out of those numbered bags and you put it away, oh my gosh, is it just pure hell trying to put it back together. Because finding an individual piece, especially all these little tiny little flowers and stuff, is such a pain. So please make sure you're absolutely done with it. My favorite character, I can't decide if it's Lloyd or his dad. And I forget his dad's name. So the reason I like Lloyd is because he's the main character of the movie. I like his dad because his dad's humor, where Lloyd's like, "You ruined my life." And he's like, "How could I?" His dad's like, "How could I? I was never there." So, look, I'm a father of 4 kids, and my wife and I have been married 29 years. So I've always been there for my kids and all that. But I still find the humor in the dad claiming he couldn't have ruined his life because he wasn't there. That is the reason he ruined his life, because he wasn't there. So I thought that joke was just absolutely hilarious. But I also like the fact that how the Lego movie quickly backed off so serious issues in the thing. They just they touched on things lightly to bring some humor, and then they backed completely off of it. And Pig, how you doing? And G-Man, how you doing? It's good to see you both. Who's your favorite Ninjago character? And actually, that question's open to anybody. Oh, you okay? How am I doing? I'm tired today. I got a Lego Bricklink order last night. That was 12,000 pieces, and so I'm really tired because I stayed up to get it done. But I kind of had to stay up because we also had a thunderstorm last night, so I wouldn't have been able to sleep anyway. And the thunderstorm was 2 hours long, so it was pretty violent. But I mean, that's just what happens out here in Idaho. We get those kind of storms a lot. Usually they're like starting at 4 in the afternoon, but yesterday, yeah, it was late. It was like started at about midnight. And let's see, mine's probably Dareth or Zane. Okay, yeah, Zane. He's the one. He's the one who wears the white uniform, right? I'm trying to think. Because I mean, God, the Lego Ninjago movie came out. Ooh, I wasn't even living in this house, and I've been in this house 3 years, so probably came out 4 or 5 years ago. I actually used the Ninjago movie to my advantage. Actually, a good friend of ours, my wife's military, and we know this military family, the Garcias, and we love the Garcias. They are awesome. And anyway, the Garcias asked my wife and I to watch their kids, and really didn't. It's kind of a tall order. So instead of doing anything that required much brain power, I just took him to the earlier matinee show of the Ninjago movie, and we watched it. And you know what? It actually worked out pretty good. And they ended up behaving themselves, and the time passed pretty good. And I got to see the movie for a second time. So, yeah. Okay, so Pig says, I haven't really watched Ninjago since recently, but I always liked Garmadon, if I'm saying that right. And G-Man, what set did you complete yesterday? I'd love to hear that. I'm also working on the Ultimate Collector Series Star Wars Republic Gunship. I got a second copy of it because a friend of my son's, a guy, well, I can't really say he's a friend, a guy that my son used to work with decided to part with his collection because he really needed the money because his car was about ready to be repoed. So he called me up and he's like, hey, you want to buy some Lego? And I looked at it and I was like, oh, dang, this guy's got good stuff. So I offered him $700 for the whole entire lot. And he said yes. And he said, thank you, because he's like, I'm only short like $100 to pay off what I owe in the car, and I don't have to go through this anymore. So it was a win-win for both of us. He got to keep his car, and I got to keep some cool Lego sets. And that's awesome. You know what, G-Man? I just got through doing that too. Well, hello, Steve. How's it going, man? Good to see you. Yeah, I just built the ATE walker as well, and I took it apart. I just put it together to verify the pieces, not because I really wanted it together. And I do that whenever I get a set. Excuse me, because I have bought, here's a scary thought. I have purchased a Lego set in the past, and I left it alone for a while because I just didn't have the time to put it together. And to my horror, when I did open it a couple years later, Lego had included 2 of one bag and skipped the next bag. The only problem was it had been a couple years, so by the time I let Lego know, Lego was really willing to replace the more common pieces, but some of the pieces they just didn't have. And so I had to go on Bricklink to finish that set. And so now I make it a policy that even if I don't want the set open right away, I open it anyways, I put it together, and then I take it apart because I want to make sure all the pieces are there. You only have the ATTE from 2030. That's a good one. I've got that one too. And just so you guys know, Lego Star Wars is perhaps, I want to say it's my favorite, but it's actually not. It's Lego City is my favorite. And then Star Wars is a very close second. What are your guys' favorite themes, by the way? I'd love to hear that. We have a friend in the chat. Yes. I see Steve, and I'm glad to see Steve. It's been a while, Steve. And I'm not avoiding you, Steve. You've called a couple times, and it just seems like every time you've called, I got something major going on. But yeah, I'm also going to be working on the Avengers Tower. I did bring out the bar level. That's the last level I finished. I brought that out to the shop. It's got its own table, and that's so I can continue to build on it. And that, I hope to have that done soon. Have another level, at least the video. I don't think I'll have the level done. It's too big. This is going to be the one with the, with the elevator for the double Quinjets. If we're talking about Star Wars, which movie is your favorite? I'd say the first one. Now, I've explained this before. It's really, I know it's called A New Hope. I know that. But growing up, when Star Wars first came out, it wasn't called A New Hope. It was only called Star Wars. And so it's really hard for me. And Star Wars came out when I was very little. I mean, yeah, I was alive for that. I'm 50. And Star Wars was all the rage when I was younger. And it was always just called Star Wars. So I've always had kind of a problem calling it A New Hope when they renamed it. And I'm not trying to like refuse to change or anything. It's just, I grew up with it being Star Wars. So it's hard to make that switch. But that's my favorite. What's your favorite one? I wish I could have some new sets, but I'm focused more on Skylanders, actually. Okay. What are Skylanders? And I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm not aware of, things that maybe I should be aware of. So, Steve, did you get the day off work today, or are you just in between jobs on lunch? What's up, man? And again, I just love how they use these pieces, like these wedge pieces, to make a roof line thing. And then these right here are supposed to be minifigure shields. And in fact, in the siege encampment that I'm building right now, these are the shields for a couple of the characters, these pieces right here. And I love how they repurpose them and use them as roofing tiles here, large roofing tiles. Oh, it's an older game. Okay, all right. Well, I like to play some older games too. The older game I play is called Mrs. Chip. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't say that. Sorry. You know what? If she was here, she would just laugh anyway. Not like I. For those who don't understand, try being married for 29 years, and you'll understand that you and your spouse will probably joke about just about everything, because, I mean, it's not like our conversations are earth-shattering, and it's like, oh, well, what do you like to do for fun? Oh, really? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? By this time, I know all that. So our conversations can be very interesting because, well, we married this long, you run out of things to talk about. And our kids are all grown. So that's the other thing too. It's not like oh, well, you know, so and so got bad grades in school, we're gonna have to ground them. No, we don't have to talk about that even, because our kids are all grown. So yeah, the conversation's changed quite a bit. And it's not like it's an excuse to make fun of her, but she does it too, trust me. Steve says he has a day off, but needs to check on a few job sites. Okay. They're from like a decade ago, were a phenomenon, and then suddenly most people forget about Skylanders. Yeah, you know, games kind of do that. But then they make resurgence. I actually read an article the other day about Minecraft and how a lot of people will quit Minecraft, not play it for several months, and then they'll binge it for like 2 weeks. And it's actually kind of like, they haven't coined a phrase for it as far as I know yet, but they found that every 2 weeks is kind of a universal thing. Like it's like it'll just go away and boom, binge for 2 weeks and go away. So yeah. We have rain today. Yeah, we had that last night, man. It was brutal. So, John, just out of curiosity, like where you're at, I don't imagine you're very high above sea level, because I heard most of Florida is just swampy and flat. Of course, Florida's a state I've never been to be honest. I've actually traveled pretty far in my time. Yes, a former swamp. Yeah. You know what's really funny, John, and hard to believe? Living in the Great Basin Desert, you would think that we don't have swamps, but around the Salt Lake, we do. And my parents' house, that whole neighborhood, I've talked to some of the old timers, and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe they put houses there, because I used to go duck hunting there as a kid. It used to be a swamp." And it is true. You can look at old maps of the area, and indeed, my parents' house neighborhood used to be a swamp. They drained it, and then they stuck 6 feet of dirt above it on the whole entire neighborhood, and then they built the neighborhood on top of that dirt after packing it down. But yeah, it used to be a swamp in the middle of the desert. 10 feet above sea level. Whew. All right, buddy. I am 4,700 feet above sea level here where I'm at. And that's always something to talk about, because my parents are only at like 4,000. And, they get snow, but we get even more snow being higher. And it's always funny, because if it snows like 1 or 2 inches down there, guaranteed we'll have 4 to 6. It's always been that way. Oh, I'm always salty, John. No, I'm just kidding. No. It actually is salty. And do you guys know the story of Lake Bonneville? Salt Lake, the Great Salt Lake, used to be called Lake Bonneville among the natives. And it used to cover a really large area. But eventually what happened was the water levels rose to a point where they hit a weak spot. And when they hit the weak spot, and it's actually the next canyon, there's a mountain in between me and the old spot where Lake Bonneville used to be a couple thousand years ago. Well, the water eventually broke through, and when it broke through, it drained through the Snake River up in Idaho, and became much smaller. And anyway, the area that I live in was high enough that it was never part of Lake Bonneville, but Bonneville did come right up to where I live, but didn't cover it. I am doing set number 71799, which is the Ninjago City Markets. Oh, well, that's not good. Oh, well, that's not good because it is good. I just didn't put it on right. Let's try that again. Is that right? Yeah, it looks right to me. Okay, cool. This is the one that has the tram system that goes like right across. You know, the tram system that you could probably go down the stairs and walk to it faster than it would take you to load it, to do the safety check, and take you down there. It'd probably be faster just to walk. Yeah, that's one thing about this set. I love the tram system, and if I ever get to I am going to get to that point. When I get to the point in my city where I start sticking Ninjago in there, I'm going to go ahead and expand this tram system so it actually is more practical. Oh, yes, it has the, yeah, I agree. The minifigures are awesome. And they are in a bag. Shoot, where'd I put that bag? I don't even know, but they're here. Okay, so I think okay, so I knocked that off. Okay. All right, so we're, in case you didn't know, this is creating a tunnel, and there's on the very top there's a bathroom, and you can actually hit a lever, and a little tile will go all the way through this, and it has a flushing toilet. So that's what we're building right now. I will not be doing a live stream tonight. Unfortunately, I just got too much going on. And besides that 12,000 piece order that came through, I have another order that came through. And then I got some personal things I need to take care of. So I just won't be able to do a live stream tonight. I will try, well, no, we will be doing a live stream tomorrow. And we'll be doing more of this set. So hopefully we can just get this done. I'm really excited about getting this done because I've got the other Ninjago set that came out a couple months ago that we're going to build on live streams too, and I have the Ninjago City. I might be able to get my hands on the Ninjago City docks, that one, or the harbor, whatever it's called. I don't remember the name of it, but if I'm able to get that set, that would be really awesome. I actually know somebody who has it, and it's for sale. I just don't know if I'll have the money to get it. That's the thing. All right. Well, thank you, Pig, for being here. And it's always nice to have new faces. I've wanted the Ninjago City docks for a while. I reached out to 2 different people on Bricklink because they listed it, and they listed it as used. They said it was complete, but I wrote them a message and said, hey, look, I really need to make sure you have verified it before I buy it because I don't want to get it and have missing 20 pieces. And both people did not respond, so I did not buy it from them. And since they have sold and that means the more cheaper ones are gone, and I'm stuck buying the more expensive one. Okay. For some reason, this is not lining up. Oh, well, yeah, okay. Let me, I think I see why. Okay. There we go. As they say, now we're cooking with some gas. I apologize. I don't mean to yawn at you. Like I said, I had a short night, so. But it's not too often that I get a 12,000 piece order, so I just wanted to get it done and get it out the door. I can always go back to bed. So, and I might do that after this stream. I'll need to go to the post office first and drop off that order I told you about. But after that, I can go to sleep and do whatever I want. All right. Oh boy, I love it. I'm loving this. This is a great set. No, I'm not McDonald's. But I'm loving this set because now we get in the interesting part. We're going to build like a little walkway across here. And the other thing we're going to do is we are going to build the red bridge that I've talked about many times that goes across the swamp. Oh, you still can't see it. Let me move this out of the way. This right here, from this black tile, that black tile, there's a red bridge, and we'll be building that today too. So we are going to get pretty far into this. And like I said, this is the exciting part because it's just taken us so long to get here with everything going on. And oh, I did not do that right. All right, well, let's do it right. Oh, John, that's in the plans, actually. I've got an idea for a train drawbridge over the river. And there's actually a very specific one. I don't remember the name of it. I do have it written down. So a doctor that I had, Dr. Charles May, who's now retired. He was my doctor living in Columbus, Ohio for a few years. And Dr. May, I mean, you know, sure, there's a lot of good doctors out there, but in my opinion, Dr. May was the best. He was just so straightforward, listened to you when you came in with problems, did his best to help you. Anyway, good guy. And in his office, he had a train drawbridge. And instead of the drawbridge opening like this, for the train, it was like a truss bridge with two towers on the end, you know, on shore, and this part just went up, so the ships can go underneath. The whole platform went up, and I want to build that. And I did all those years ago take a picture of it, and so I know exactly what it looks like. So that is going to be a part of my city eventually. It's going to be a drawbridge like that, and I want to figure out the mechanics of it so that it's it can be operated with Lego motors and a battery pack, and all I got to do is push a button. I think that'd be pretty cool. I haven't figured that part out yet, but if any indication of what I did in the past, I will be able to figure it out. And is that what it's called, John? A vascular bridge? Sorry, I don't mean to yawn at you. I'm just really tired. Looks like we're building the other side of this bridge. That order, I'm not complaining about it. I really appreciate it. But boy, was it tougher than nails to put together. Everything was round. And I kid you not. Like little round 1x1 bricks. A ton, like, they'd order 500, 1,000 of a different color of the cone. Everything was round. And it was so hard to count because every time I went to count, something wanted to roll. I think that's what took me so long. I actually watched a 2-hour video on YouTube and finished it while I was doing the order. That's how long it took. And I didn't even finish the order in that 2-hour video. So, yeah. Oh, it's more. I sent you short. Oh, okay. I appreciate that, John. My phone is actually the sound's off over here, but I will look at it as soon as we are done here. Well, that was nice. Just, I don't even know where this goes. I just tore this off. Okay. Okay, this does not want to cooperate. There we go. Okay. So we got the, it's not the whole entire bridge because the whole entire bridge is going to have a place people to walk. But we got that far. Now we got some lights to put together. That's why I like this set. It's just so, it's like not uniform. It's got a lot of detail to it, but it's not too much. It's not like they built it and, oh, there's too much detail. It doesn't make sense. It actually does make sense. And even though it's like all chaotic, it does make sense. So probably going to get myself into trouble by stating how I feel about certain things, but I'm going to do it anyway. I will tell you guys that, I was talking a little bit earlier about medications and how much insurance companies, I think, miss the mark on that because of my own personal experience. I also feel the same way about Narcan. I mean, I understand that drug's meant to save people, and it does. However, the problem I have with it is that Narcan is free everywhere, but yet a 10-year-old kid can't get an EpiPen for free or their diabetic medication for free. So I kind of feel like I don't like it. I wished it wasn't that way. I wished my priorities were straight, and maybe naloxone or what it's called, Narcan. I don't know what it's called. Wish they'd charge a little bit for it, and then for kids make it more affordable for them to have diabetes medication. But yeah. But here we're starting the bridge, by the way, the red bridge that goes across this swamp area. I have been working on that Republic gunship. I hope to be done with it today, but there's no telling when I'll be done. Okay, so we got what do they call that? The bridge. I don't remember what they call that. The big concrete blocks on either side of a bridge. Got that done, and we are almost running out of pieces. It's really hard when you're building this to decide how many pieces to lay out, because I try to go for about an hour, but it's really kind of, yeah, no telling. And for those who are wondering about Mrs. Chip, I have heard from her this morning, right before the live stream. Her training's going well. But yeah, because of her training, she won't be able to be on here very often for the next several weeks. So, just let you know, she's doing good if you wondered. And if you didn't wonder, that's okay too. Okay, I need to build a second one of these. I personally really dig this set. I just think it's really cool. Love the detail. Oh, dang, I didn't even grab all the pieces. I'm short 2 pieces, but the pieces are just right next to me, so let me grab those. Okay. I am back. Oh, and of course, I forgot another piece. Let me go grab it. Okay. All right, now we got to do some more of the more decorative work for this bridge. And I love this. This is usually the hub to a Technic car, and it's been converted now over to a bridge ornament piece kind of looking thing. So I love how they do that. I love how they repurpose stuff. It's so freaking awesome. And now I think we get to my favorite part of this. And that's building the little decorative side of this. There we go. This right here. Yeah. Hey, Italian Gaming. How you doing? How you feeling, man? Yeah, it was fun. Yeti and I are pretty close friends. I've known Yeti for a few years now, and I actually met him. I didn't meet him because of YouTube. I actually met him because he ordered some stuff off of me on my Bricklink store, and I include a little flyer in each one of my orders to let people know, hey, I have a YouTube channel. And I sent that to him, not knowing he had a YouTube channel. And he emailed me and says, hey, I got a YouTube channel too. You interested in talking and then being on a stream or two? And this was like, I wasn't even living in this house, and I've been in this house for 3 years. So what ended up happening was we talked on the phone for a while, and I got to know him a little bit. He seemed like a cool dude, so I went on a stream, and I've been on a stream several times. And then from there, we've just been pretty good friends, and we actually text each other a couple times a day most of the time. Yeti is definitely a stand-up guy. I really appreciate him. And to me, he's a kind of an inspiration, because not that I'm trying to be sentimental, but there's not a lot of guys and gals that work things out anymore, and there's a lot of broken families and stuff. And that's one thing I really appreciate about him. He's a family man, and he takes care of his family the best he can. And I got a lot of respect for somebody like that. So, and then, plus the fact that he's a veteran also helps, because, that's what I grew up around. My dad is a veteran. My wife's a veteran. So there's a lot for me to appreciate there. And I like Yeti's sense of humor. So anyway, yeah, he's a good person. Thanks. I try to get him to come on here. He does come on here occasionally. Yeah, there's just something about, I'm very comfortable being around military people. And, you know, I mean, you got to imagine my dad was in the military. My wife's in the military. So my whole entire life, I've been surrounded by the military. I once even tried to join the military, but they rejected me. So that's all right. I'm a reject. No, I'm just kidding. They rejected me for a heart problem. So, and you might have heard that story. Anyway, I'm just really comfortable being around the military because I've been around it my whole life. So joking with Yeti is really easy for me. And plus, my favorite manager of all time was Ken. And Ken was a veteran as well. He fought in the Yugoslavia-Serbian War, whatever you call that thing. And Ken was just awesome. One of my favorite things about working with Ken was that Ken used to say stuff like, if you made a mistake, he goes, don't worry, this isn't the battlefield. No one is going to die because you made a mistake. And I really like that mentality of his because he wasn't high-strung. I've never seen Ken mad. I learned a lot from him. All right, this is the bridge that I've been talking about. Oh, you don't have to even, you could point the camera down at a build and maybe just build a Lego set or, yeah, something like that. This is the bridge that I've been talking about, and I really, really like this bridge. Okay, let me flip this around so y'all can see this. Now, this set now is really coming together. So now we've got the pedestrian bridge. We've got this overhead walkway that started. We've got a noodle shop. I think it's not. This is a house over here. Noodle shop's over here. We've got another little apartment right here in the corner. We've got the tram system that started, not finished. So anyway, this is as far as we're going to get today because I ran out of pieces that I laid out. And that's perfect because I like to go for about an hour. So anyways, tomorrow we will have another live stream and we'll do another segment of this, getting this done. And I'm probably going to build the F1 Red Bull. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. I've been looking for some of those F1s, but I can't find them. I also want the pink Speed Champion car. I can't find it. All right, guys. Check out my store. Links in the description. Hit that like button. Subscribe. And how can I join you all in the next stream? Well, since I have your email now, I can send you a link. And all you have to do is click on the link, and you can be on your phone, and you can join from your phone. And like I said, if you have a laptop, you can join on a laptop, and you could just put the lid so it doesn't show your face. I mean, you can just do like what's right in front of you if you're not comfortable. So yeah, that would work. Let me know. Send me an email if you're interested. All right, guys, be good to each other. Stay safe out there, and I will catch you on my next one.